What is up, everybody? This is James Jackson. Welcome to the Rebel Loving Scum. We are here to talk about season 2, episode 6, chapter 14. There's so many numbers. Basically, we're talking about the tragedy, the newest episode of The Mandalorian. Welcome to the channel. Hope you guys enjoy yourselves. This I think I'm gonna start just doing reviews because I've tried to upload my reaction and it's again we're getting copyright problems. So I think from this point on I'm just going to do reviews of the episodes. If you guys are interested in seeing my reactions, I will definitely start putting them up on my Patreon page from this point on. If you guys are interested in that, but for now I am just going to do reviews. So today I'm going to just go in and I'm going to give my brief overview of the episode, and then I'm going to go do my deep dive, which will be a spoiler review. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I'll definitely let you know so you can click away. All right. So my take on this episode is this episode reminds me of why I love this season, why I love this series, and it's not my favorite episode, but it's right now competing with chapter 9 or episode 1 of this season as number 2. The last episode with Ahsoka, the Jedi, that was my favorite episode because that episode was like the perfect embodiment of Star Wars. Like if someone was to ask me which episode of this series was the most Star Wars episode, it was last episode. So to me, that is still my favorite episode of the season. But that doesn't mean that this one isn't without its perks. There is a lot of action. This is directed by Roger Rodriguez, which I do love about what I love about this series is that with these different directors, you see their hand in it. You see their niche. You see their style, and that's no different. And we get Boba Fett. First of all, you should have been watching. If you're watching this, but you already know about the reveal of Boba Fett. He comes in this episode, and he's not alone. He has someone else. That's kind of surprising that I wasn't expecting. I'm not going to say who just yet. But him and this other person, they come in, and then there's a big old action set piece and then, we lose a couple characters that are near and dear to us. At least for me, it was near and dear. Some that I was not even surprised that I would be this emotionally attached to. This episode leaves a lot of intrigue and curiosity about what will be coming in the next couple episodes going forth. To me, this may be the second best episode of the season. I still really love the first episode, but overall, yeah, as you can see, it's still one of the top episodes of the season, and it shows again just how great this series is, and it's definitely in good hands with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. All right, so that's my take on this episode, the non-spoiler one. So this is the spoiler section. So if you don't want to hear about spoilers, minimize, click away, go watch the episode, and then come back here and enjoy it. Enjoy the conversation that hopefully we could have in the comments, as well as you guys listen to me on my thoughts. All right. One of the things I got to talk about is, because this is really the crux of this episode. Even though it's heavy in action, this episode is still a very character driven. This episode is centered around this bond that Baby Yoda and Grogu and Din Djarin have sort of formed together with each other, and that's part of it, because it affects at the very end, because Grogu gets captured by Moff Gideon, Um, and not only that, and he's taken away, but also, again, not just their characters, but also we see sort of a really serious character development of Boba Fett, and just how, and we'll get to him in a second, but character, especially the relationship between Grogu and Din Djarin, it's really shown at, especially at that beginning when, Din Djarin is sort of kind of being playful with Grogu. It's like Grogu, now that he knows his name. And he's definitely, you can see he's enjoying himself. He's having a good time. He is his son. He may never say it directly, but that is his son. He is his father. And you can see it's like they even have almost like they're playing catch with the little ball thing. So he takes it from Grogu and he's like, Grogu, you want it back? You want it back? And Grogu uses the Force to take it back. And he's still like a proud parent. Like, as someone who has a daughter myself, that hit me right there. That hit me right there in the feels. So, and then of course they make their way to Typhon, which is definitely a bit different than what we know, at least what I know from the extended universe with, especially from the Old Republic, where Typhon is a much more greenish mountain area. There's still some green here, but it feels a lot more dry, a lot more arid. It feels more like a more almost desert-like per se than necessarily like big old trees and green pasture mountains that we see kind of like a definitely more rural, mountainous, rural area. That's sort of what Typhon was sort of the vibe from, at least from the Old Republic game. But obviously, that's Legends. They can do whatever they want with it. It's just interesting to see sort of their take on Typhon. I wish I personally, if there was one thing that I sort of, I wish I had more of this episode. I wish I sort of had some sort of, there was some sort of weight or some sort of a little bit more of story to this planet, given its the serious ties it has to Legends in the extended universe, especially in the Old Republic, because in the extended universe, Typhon is actually the original homeworld of the Jedi. The Jedi Order was founded on Typhon, and here it just looks like planet. We're on this mountain and there's a stone in the center, and that's it. So I kind of wish they fleshed Typhon a little bit more out. I know it's again, it's just a planet, but I just seeing how they've done with all these other planets, like every single planet he's gone to, whether if it's Tatooine, whether if it's Trask or Corvus, like you get a character, you get a sense of story with each one of these places. Here it just looks like a desert. You're in the middle of the desert. So of course, so he tries to place Baby Yoda on the center, and he's trying to figure it out. And then that is when we get our first review. And of course, if you're a Star Wars fan, if you've been waiting to see this thing again, and that is Slave One, Boba Fett's ship. We see it, and for the first time, and I totally geeked out when I saw that ship again. So Boba Fett arrives, and he doesn't arrive alone. He actually arrives with someone that I didn't think we would see again. When we last saw them, because I thought they were left dead, but it turns out she is alive, and that is Fennec. Fennec is alive and well. So yes, he was the person that found Fennec at the end of the episode, which I think most of us sort of came to the conclusion that it was Boba Fett who found her, and he did. And she was basically near death, and she basically gave Fennec the Vader treatment by basically giving her this robotic stomach. So he basically just gave her machine parts to sort of save her life. And because he saved her life, she's indebted to him. And his mission is to get his armor back. And this is what I was talking about in terms of there's really two characters. This story is about the bond that Baby Yoda and Din have because you feel the weight of it at the end. But also you feel the weight of Boba Fett's, like, he wants his armor back. He's been following him because he wants his armor back, and we learn why. We know it's Jango's armor, but we learn that it was given to him by the Mandalorians. That armor is his armor, because for those of you that may not know, throughout the EU, it's sort of been under the impression that Jango and Boba have sort of been not recognized as being part of the actual Mandalorian creed. And what you see here because he's so ready to do whatever it takes. He's like, I'm ready to shoot Grogu right now. Have Fennec shoot him right now. I'm here to get my armor back. And the point I'm trying to make is, it means so much to him because what we find out is that Jango was a foundling. He was somebody like Din who was discovered by the Mandalorians and been made into part of the Mandalorian. But he doesn't hold to the Mandalorian creed. Neither Jango. Jango didn't hold to the Mandalorian creed. As he says, I'm just a simple man trying to make my way through the galaxy. And what I love about, like, it means so much to him because obviously it's his father's, and because the last time he ever saw his father, he saw his father get beheaded by Mace Windu. So that armor means so much to him on multiple levels, and I love that we get some of that depth with it. But also we get some better understanding that he, by creed, is still Mandalorian. He doesn't follow the creed, and he makes it clear that he's like, I follow or answer to no one. And I love this dichotomy because it's once again, along with Bo-Katan, giving Din Djarin different perspectives than from the zealots. It's making him question the zealots of that he's been as from the Mandalorian. How serious do you have to follow the creed and the code? And he's seeing these people who are clearly veered and respected in the Mandalorian. Maybe not Boba, but definitely Bo-Katan. But he's seeing a ton of people that are still being held in high regards amongst the other Mandalorians, and they're not. And it's sort of really questioning his beliefs and his understanding of what he's been known for. And I like that because that's character development, and character development is always great. Of course, this does not last too long, their little conversations, because, Imperials have to be douchebags, and Moff Gideon drops off a whole bunch of stormtroopers, and basically we get, for most of the rest of the episode, is pretty much a big take the hill action set piece. And I love it, and it was amazing. Roger Rodriguez did a great job. I don't think it's the best action set piece that I've seen so far, because I really love what they did with Ahsoka, sort of kind of like a Ghost of Tsushima. I love the designs of that episode, and I kind of like the whole taking the freight in terms of stormtroopers. But what we do get, though, is something that we as Star Wars fans have been waiting, not years, not a year, not 2 years, not 3 years, not 5 years, not 10 years, 40 years. We've been waiting for generations, literally generations, decades, for what we got in this episode. And that is Boba Fett being the badass that we know he is. And he comes in, starts off with the gaffy stick, and he just punishes these stormtroopers. I mean, these things look brutal. And I love the fact that we get to see him be the badass that we all thought he was. And so he starts off with the gaffy sticks, and then but then he notices the Razor Crest and knows that's where his armor is, and then eventually all Star Wars fandom gets exactly what we all been wanting. Boba Fett back in the suit, back in the armor, and basically something that we thought we would see, that many people they would see when Return of the Jedi came out, that they never got to see. But Boba Fett in the armor being a complete and total badass. I will have to say, though, Boba, you are kind of putting on a little pudge right there, a dad gut right there. I'm just saying. So it is looking. I'm just saying that armor is looking a little bit snug. Just wanted to bring that up just a little bit. But yeah. So we get that, and then something very interesting happens. We finally get to see the Dark Troopers, and they are Dark Troopers. Moff Gideon calls them Dark Troopers, which is something that we saw in the extended universe with the character of like Kyle Katarn. And I gotta say, now the Dark Troopers didn't do anything except grab Grogu, but I will say just the look of them, they look intimidating as hell. Like they look like some Terminator type of shit. And I can't wait. Hopefully this isn't the only time we see them, and hopefully they are put to use and we get to see what they can do in actions, because I would love to see what those things do. But yeah, they take Baby Yoda, which is definitely a tragedy, but something else was a tragedy, and we lost. And I remember at the beginning I said we lose a character, and it's maybe not somebody and it's somebody that you may not think, well, it's not somebody, it's something, and that is the Razor Crest. The Razor Crest gets blown up and is destroyed, completely eviscerated. And I gotta tell you, when that happened, I felt like a gut punch to my head, to my stomach. I never thought an inanimate object would affect me the way it did, but it did. And that just tells you, like, that ship was part of this whole story. It went along with us as well. It was a character of its own, because it been through some shit. And we grown to love it. It's like if somebody went in and if that was the Millennium Falcon, I get the same effect would happen. Like seeing the Millennium Falcon just get eviscerated and blown up. It's like it hurts. Like I never thought I would be emotionally involved about a ship, and I did, and I was with the Razor Crest. So, and I thought they did a really, really excellent job because of that. And we definitely see it when Den goes to the ship, what remains of the ship, and just looks around, and you can see like the pain and the anger. And I gotta say, Roger Rodriguez did a really good job, because even though, again, this is somebody you don't see their face, but you can feel the pain and the anger and the anguish. And you could tell Dennis, like, okay, Moff Gideon, it's on sight. It's on sight. Next time I see you, it's on sight. You've gone too far. And so the stakes, so now Den doesn't have a ship. The only thing that survived the explosion is the spear, which again, I think Beskar has gotten to a point where it's almost like invincibility ability, and I think its powers needs to be nerfed, like seriously, just from a storytelling perspective, because it takes a lot of the tension out. But the spear survived, and I hope that we get this, and I get this feeling that we're going to see Din use that spear against Moff Gideon when Moff Gideon pulls out the Darksaber. And so he goes, Boba agrees, as long with Fennec, that, look, we had a deal. You give me my armor, I will go ahead and I'll make sure this child's safety. The child is gone, so until the child is safe, we're indebted to you. So Boba is agreeing to work with Din to go get Mando, but he needs some more help. So he goes to Navarro. And I love the little misdirect they're going. So we go to Navarro, and he runs into Cara Dune, and we're thinking, okay, he's getting the crew, he's getting Creek Karga, he's getting Cara Dune again, and that's not the case. What we find out is Cara has taken the Republic's offer and has become has once again joined the New Republic. Now, under the restrictions that she is still the marshal on Navarro, so she's sort of, I guess, working out there, but going to relay information back to the New Republic should anything come out. So she can't. So she's not coming to help. But he goes in because she now works for the New Republic. She can gain access to certain files, and she pulls up. I forgot his name, but it's Bill Burr's character from Chapter 6, The Prisoner. And basically, Din wants to release Bill Burr's character, which makes all the sense in the world. I know he's saying, thank goodness I didn't kill you. Makes all the sense in the world because, of course, Bill Burr's character is a former Imperial sharpshooter. So he would know how to get onto an Imperial Star Cruiser so he can go and get Grogu away from Moff Gideon. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about is, again, with characters, we see one of the things I've been hoping they would do more, and it looks like that is the direction they're going, so I'm really excited, and that is the fact that Grogu's still a child, and he has all this power, but he's somebody that's scared and is afraid, which means he's going to tap into some dark side abilities, and we see that at the end of the episode as he is like manhandling these two stormtroopers who are coming in. Like, I'm not talking about he's like force choking them. He's like force stacing them. He's using some serious dark side abilities, and Moff Gideon is like enjoying watching this as he does it. Eventually he tires out, and Moff Gideon sees he tires out, and then stuns him and basically shackles him. But I really, really hope they continue down the sea, because look, Baby Yoda's been seeing around a whole bunch of violence and seen a whole bunch of stuff. As Mando said, he's seen worse. So the violence eventually has to tap in. Again, he's still a child. He doesn't necessarily know better. He hasn't been trained. But seeing that Baby Yoda can go down this dark side path. Grogu can go down this dark side path, and seeing him tap into these powers, I think this is I'm loving that they're sort of continue to hint at his temptation to use the dark side when afraid and feeling the need to defend himself or the people he loves. And I really, really hope they continue doing that. And of course, Moff Gideon says, "Let the scientists know we have our donor who's obviously going to give the M count, obviously midichlorians, but they the M count. So basically, they can, what if it's to create a Snoke or create Palpatine, or if maybe Gideon wants to use it for himself. Maybe he's doing something with Grand Admiral Thrawn. Who knows? But I love the fact that we're still learning, like, what is this really about? And hopefully we can continue on to see what this could possibly mean. So overall, these are my thoughts of this episode. It was a great episode. There was some great little character setups and character moments from Din and Grogu down to Boba Fett. And I cannot wait. There is one more thing. With Bill Burr's character, what I love that we're doing and what we're seeing with Boba Fett, Finnick, Bill Burr's character, and man, we are seeing something that I kind of want to see. It's like the scum of scum, the underworld, this ragtag underworld group characters. Because Cara Dune was kind of like part of the Republic. This is like, these are not good people. These people that are getting together for this task are not good people. And I love the fact that we're getting sort of the cringy underworld to band together to go on and take on this Imperial Star Cruiser. I can't wait to see it, and this is something I wanted them to continue push forward, and I hope they do. But yeah, those are my thoughts of this episode. This was a fantastic episode. This is, again, 10 out of 10. Again, not my favorite episode, but it is like right there up there with it. But I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know. Leave your comments below. Also, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on everything. And until next time, may the Force be with you.